Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the daily debate. Today's topic is schools should make uniforms compulsory for all students. And Jayant and Jaikrit would be going for the motion and the proposition, and Ashrita and Pari would be going against the motion. So Jaikrit, you have 5 minutes right now to begin your speech. Do you need a self count, or would you? Hello?
No,
Yeah,
can you do the count for me?
yeah. You will be starting on your self count of three, two, one.
Good morning, respected judges, teachers, and fellow students. Today, I stand firmly in support of the motion. Schools should make uniforms compulsory for all students. But before I begin with my arguments, let me clearly explain what we mean by this motion. When we say that schools should make uniforms compulsory, we mean that every student, regardless of their background or age, should be required to wear a standard school uniform every day. We believe this is important because school is a place to learn, grow, and feel safe. Uniforms help create an environment that is equal, focused, and respectful. They take away distractions and pressures related to fashion and money and instead shift students' attention towards learning and personal development. Now, let me present three strong reasons why we believe uniform should be compulsory. First, uniforms reduce bullying and peer pressure. In many schools, students are judged or even bullied based on their clothing, whether it's not fashionable enough, not branded, or not trendy. This creates unnecessary pressure on students to dress a certain way just to fit in or avoid being picked on. When everyone wears the same uniform, there is no comparison. No one stands out for wearing cheaper clothes or less popular brands. This helps create a safer, kinder, and more equal school environment where students are valued for who they are and not what they wear. Second, uniforms save time and money. Every morning, many students spend a lot of time thinking about what to wear, and this becomes a stressful routine. Uniforms make mornings easier, and there's no confusion or stress about choosing clothes. At the same time, uniforms save parents money because they don't need to constantly buy new clothes or chase after expensive fashion trends. Over the school years, this can save families a lot of money, which is especially helpful for middle school or low income households. Thirdly, uniforms build discipline and a strong school identity. Wearing a uniform helps students feel like they are part of something bigger. Just like footballers wear them team jerseys with pride, students can wear their school uniform with the same pride and unity. It also encourages better behavior and focus. Students feel like they are in school mode when wearing their uniform, which naturally leads to more discipline and the strongest sense of purpose in the classroom. Uniform sets the tone, and that school is a place for learning and growth. Now let me talk about the burdens in this debate. Our side's burden is to prove that school uniforms bring real benefits to both students and schools. We are showing that uniforms create equality, reduce distractions, support discipline, save time and money, and improve safety. On the other hand, the opposing side must try to prove that letting students wear whatever they want is somehow better for education, which is extremely difficult. In reality, wearing fashionable or branded clothes doesn't help students learn, it only leads to more distractions and more competition based on appearance. That's not the kind of environment schools should encourage. Now, let me handle a few pre-buttons. Basically, arguments we expect the other side to use and why they're weak. One thing they might say is uniform take away freedom of expression. But we ask, does creativity only come from clothes? Definitely not. Students can express themselves through art, writing music, sports, and their personality. Clothes don't define creativity, actions do. Uniforms only limit clothing choices, not freedom of thought or imagination. Another argument they might bring up is uniforms are uncomfortable or boring, but let's be real. Uniforms can be designed to be comfortable. Schools can improve the fabric and fit. And besides, the goal of a school uniform isn't to be a fashion statement, it's to help students stay focused, equal, and united. Lastly, they may say something like, not everyone looks good in uniform. But again, school isn't a fashion contest. If anything, uniforms stop the pressure of having to look good all the time. They reduce insecurity,
Jaikrit,
not
please
increase.
conclude.
Yeah. To wrap up, I want to make it very clear. School uniforms are not just clothes, they are tools to create a better, more focused, and more respectful learning environment. They promote equality, save time and money, build discipline, and reduce bullying. We've explained what
Jaikrit,
the
please
most
conclude.
prove by uniforms outline, and burdens are address what opposing teams are saying. Thank you.
Okay, works. Thank you. Yeah. Good speech, Jaikrit. Okay, first of all, guys, the opposition Ashrita and Pari, right? Okay. You guys could have asked Jaikrit PY in between, which could have like resulted for you in more marks because right now, yep, okay, because you were allowed to ask PYs, but you guys didn't. There were like many
Wait one
great
second.
points which you guys, yeah.
Don't we have to ask POIs after he's done, not when he's
Nope,
speaking?
nope. I already mentioned like twice or thrice in my when I was like telling the debate format that except for the first and the last minute, you guys are allowed to interrupt the speaker and ask the PO. I already said it. So yep, okay. So you guys just have your last chance for your speeches. Okay, never mind. Moving on to the opposition, who would be speaking right now, Ashrita or Pari?
I will be doing the opening
Yeah.
statements.
Do you need a self count or
I'll be doing a self count.
yeah?
I'll be starting in three, two, one. Good morning, everyone. Today, I stand firmly against the motion that schools should make uniforms compulsory for all students. Uniformity in clothing doesn't mean equality among peers. We're told that school uniforms create unity, discipline, and equality, but at what cost? Clothing is one of the most personal forms of self expression, especially for young people who are still figuring out who they are. When we tell students they need to all wear the same outfit every day, we're not promoting unity, we're suppressing individuality. We're teaching them that their identity does not matter. Doesn't matter unless it fits a dress code. Now, the proposition has said that uniforms promote equality and are inexpensive. But in reality, uniforms often do the exact opposite. They're expensive, uncomfortable, and not size inclusive. Many schools only provide sizes between small and extra large, but not every child fits into that range. And we shouldn't be making them feel ashamed for that. Forcing a student to wear clothes that does not fit properly or asking their family to pay even more after the already expensive uniform to have it tailored isn't teaching discipline. It's teaching discomfort, embarrassment, and body insecurity. In theory, uniforms are supposed to reduce costs, but in practice, many uniforms come with strict brand rules, seasonal variations, specific shoes and accessories, all of which add up. For many parents, especially in lower income households, affording uniforms is a genuine struggle. The guilt a parent feels when they can't buy a uniform for their child is something that cannot be measured, and yet we call that equality. As for inclusivity, you claim we should fix sizing and not scrap uniforms. But why force a flawed system to be patched up when the alternative, allowing comfortable, modest, and personal clothing, already works better in terms of inclusivity and accessibility? India is a country known for its incredible diversity, religious, cultural, economic, and social. Trying to compress all that rich variety into a single uniform feels unnatural, maybe even absurd. Instead of celebrating that diversity in our schools, we're trying to erase it. The real world thrives on individuality, creativity, and personal presentation. If anything, uniforms shield students from learning how to make appropriate, confident choices about how they present themselves, something far more useful in adult life. Making uniforms compulsory is not a solution, it is a shortcut. If we want
Can
to
I
instill
can I
values,
ask a question? Can I ask a question?
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. If school is meant to prepare us for the real world, why are we being forced to hide our identity through uniforms?
um, that's what I'm saying. We shouldn't wear uniforms. Are you sure you're asking the right questions here?
No, sure,
You're
sure,
for,
sure. Never
um,
mind. No.
you're for the proposition.
Yeah. My
But yes,
bad.
thank you. That's exactly what I'm saying. We should not be wearing uniforms. Now, if I could
No,
finish, making
we
school
should.
uniforms compulsory is not a solution, just like you said. It is a shortcut. If we want to instill values like discipline, respect, and equality in students, we should teach them through actions and discussions, just like my opposition has said, not sew them into a shirt. Let students wear who they are, not who we tell them to be. Thank you.
You have more 1 minute 30 seconds left. Does the proposition have any POI for the opposition and other? As we have at least 90 seconds remaining. No? Jayant, Jaikrit. Yeah. So moving ahead, now we move on to the rebuttal speeches. Again, here you can't interrupt the speaker as these are just rebuttal speeches. You guys would be refuting the points which the proposition or the opposition which your opponent basically has just said. There would be 3 minutes of speeches. And now the opposition, Ashrita would be going first. Ashrita, do you need a self count or you would start on by your own? Ashrita, are you there?
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll just, sorry, what was the other option?
Do you need a self count or shall I give you a self count?
Maybe you give me a count?
Okay, works. So you would be starting in your self count of 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. So I believe that uniforms may make students look the same, but I believe that education should never teach them to be the same. While uniforms may create surface level equality, they also risk cultivating a false sense of sameness between students. When students are required to wear the same clothes, same shoes, same accessories for years, they begin to perceive their peers as largely identical to them. And when they're required to leave school and enter a different area, which doesn't require them to wear uniforms, like universities or their workplace, they are suddenly exposed to a full spectrum of various outfits and self-expression. For many, this abrupt shift can be shocking. It may even lead to unconscious bias, judgment, or discomfort towards those who dress differently, simply because they were never taught to engage with that diversity during their early years. In contrast, if students grow up surrounded by diverse styles and expressions, they are more likely to develop empathy, open-mindedness, and an appreciation for individuality, skills that are crucial in an increasingly globalized and multicultural world. Uniforms might teach compliance, but they do not teach tolerance.
Is your speech done?
Yes.
My God, what is the opposition doing right now? The Perry left 90 seconds. You are leaving now. What? 75 seconds. Okay, never mind. Moving ahead to the proposition. Jayant, you have yeah, sorry.
Give me like give me half a minute. I need to like
We
gather
are
the
running out of
thoughts,
time.
what all the blustered things they said,
You have
and
30 seconds
we need
start.
to rebut that.
You just 30 seconds. Guys, right now, if this meeting ends, I would be sending you a new link. Just join in that, okay? If this meeting ends.
I may start on my self count of three, two, and one. So, I am standing on the proposition side, arguing that school should allow school uniforms, and I totally agree to it because school uniforms are uh, not just clothing, but they are also making students be indisciplined, reducing bullying and social discrimination that students might face in school due to clothing, which are not according to their standards or according to bully standards. They save time and money, like which could be invested into further things, because some students, if you are not imposing school uniforms, some students may show off their may show off their clothings and make other students feel inferior, which is again a type of bullying and social discrimination which shouldn't be done in school, which is said to be temple. It also like strengthens school's identity as one. It stands unity in school and also unity in people. It promotes equality. Now, what my opposition argues that it doesn't enforces individuality whatsoever. Individuality can be like come from academics, debating stuffs we are doing right now, sports, arts, or it shouldn't be clothes who define you are. It should be what you are doing in your real life. That is known as individuality. Then coming on to comforts and student choices. Okay, school is not a place where you go for comfort or something that is comfortable. You go for study, you go for sports, you go for arts, you go for other extracurricular activities. You go to interact with people, not to get bullied or not to get discriminated because of your clothes which you might be wearing. Now they say that there are expensive uniforms. So why should we allow students to take their uniforms and don't wear it if their uniforms are expensive or like if uniforms are expensive, then the school standard is also high where other students are going to wear are going to be rich kids and they are going to bully. The same thing comes. Bullying is a bad thing. Now, education must be the same. It shouldn't be judged by anyone or judged by your clothing. That's literally a very absurd thing to think that your individuality is coming from a piece of cloth which doesn't even represent you in your real world. Now, uniforms also simply ensure that students aren't judged by appearance, but by talent and personality. That's the main thing which should be done. Thank you.
Good speech. Right now, we would be now moving towards the feedbacks. Well, but first, let me announce the verdict. Right now, the opposition had very great speeches, but unfortunately, the proposition wins this debate. And let me tell you the reason why. Moving on to the first speaker, Jaykrit, you had a proper speech format. Then you just mentioned like various facts to support your arguments, etc. That was very good. The only thing which you could Sorry, guys. The only thing which you guys could just improve is that Jaikra just try to like show your facial expressions or just hand gestures because that like helps you to interact with the audience more. Secondly, moving on to the second speaker, which is Pari, you had incredible like what facial expressions and hand gestures, and a perfect speech format. The only thing which you could just improve is that just use at least real world case studies to like what support your statements. Same goes for Ashrita. And the main thing of which I would like to say for the opposition is please utilize your time, because leaving 90 seconds or 75 seconds is not good. It might be okay if you just exceed for like 5 or 10 seconds, but not